sung by the Vi Higginson's Harlem Gospel for Teens Choir.
Well, Slatka's Good News Planet. We're here at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Also, we just spoke with, who is the head of the public relations here at the Met, and this is a glorious occasion for many. How gorgeous this place is.
Please be seated. On behalf of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, it is my sincere pleasure to welcome you to this very special naturalization ceremony. My name is Phyllis Bolton, and I am the District Director for the New York District of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the organization you have been working with for many years. It is my honor to serve as your Mistress of Ceremonies today. We have some special guests, and we have a very exciting ceremony ahead of us. The first thing I'd like to do is to introduce our museum director. We are honored to celebrate this special naturalization ceremony at one of the most beautiful and iconic locations in New York City, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. We would like to very much thank the staff of the museum for hosting us today, and for all you have done to make this such a lovely and gracious occasion. It is now my very distinct pleasure to introduce the director of the Metropolitan Museum of Art and one of our naturalization candidates, Dr. Thomas Campbell. Mr. Campbell.
Good morning and welcome to the Metropolitan Museum. I'm humbled and proud to be sharing this day with my fellow new citizens and delighted to be in this magnificent space with you for this occasion. The Met houses one of the great collections of American art, and this sculpture court is the heart of it. I'd like to thank the Department of Homeland Security and the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services for suggesting this special ceremony. The story of the Met is a uniquely American one. In 1866, the year after the end of the American Civil War, a group of Americans met in Paris for a 4th of July celebration. They were convinced that America needed a great art and culture museum of its own, and the idea of the Metropolitan Museum of Art was born. It would become a reality 4 years later, in 1870. At that moment, the Met did not own a single work of art. It was an aspiration fueled by the new democratic ideals that influenced much of the development of the United States in the late 19th century. In creating an encyclopedic museum, not just a museum of American art or American culture, the founders were placing themselves not just in a European tradition, but also placing themselves firmly within the world. In the wake of civil war, there was something unifying about this effort, a new institution for a new nation. And there was something uniquely modern and American about the fact that this institution was to be accessible to everyone, no matter what class or cultural tradition they came from. More than 8 million people arrived in the US from 1855 to 1890, all through New York City. And this museum was built and founded for them and by them. Of course, the Met's formative years were not without their growing pains, but that early American ambition, coupled with America's profound philanthropic tradition, has built over the decades what is arguably, not arguably, I think simply, the greatest encyclopedic art museum in the world. Today, we're a global museum in a global city, welcoming over 6 million people a year and tens of millions more online. New York has always been a crossroads for the world's cultures, and we pride ourselves on the fact that no matter where you're from, you can find your history in our galleries. And I've been told there are 42 countries represented here today in the 75 candidates seated here. The museum's success fosters an understanding of all art and culture, and in turn encourages a broader perspective on the world in which we live. That is the power of the Met. I cannot imagine a more prescient ambition in 19th century America, or a more important vision for our modern world. So I will simply close by inviting you all to consider this museum your museum, to come back again and again, to explore the accomplishments of your own culture, or to connect with those of others. It's all here for you, for all of us, every day, and part of our legacy as new American citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell, and thank you for welcoming us here to this wonderful place. And your participation in today's ceremony really speaks volumes about the role that immigrants play in this city and in our country. We are here today to celebrate citizenship. 75 candidates have come to pledge allegiance to the United States of America. In a few minutes, you will recite the oath of allegiance, which marks the final step in your journey. For more than 220 years, taking this oath has led to American citizenship. Some of the language that you will recite dates back to 1790, when the first naturalization laws were passed. Every year, over 1 million immigrants come to this country from around the world. You have many things in common, including your commitment to becoming U.S. citizens. By the same token, you are a very diverse group. Today, you have come from 42 different countries from around the globe. But in a few moments, you will stand as one, all citizens of the United States of America. Candidates, I will now call the names of your country of origin. I will ask that you stand and remain standing until all countries have been called. And thank you for holding your applause until all countries have been named. Albania, Antigua Barbuda, thank you. Australia, Austria, please remain standing. Bangladesh, Brazil, Burundi, Canada, Cape Verde, People's Republic of China, Costa Rica, Cote d'Ivoire, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, France, Germany, Ghana, Guatemala, Guinea, Guyana, Honduras, India, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Jamaica, Kosovo, Mauritania, Mexico, Morocco, Pakistan, Peru, Poland, Russia, Rwanda, South Korea, St. Kitts Nevis, Taiwan, Turkey, United Kingdom, Uruguay, Yemen. Thank you, and please remain standing. I would like to now invite U.S. Deputy Director Lori Scialabba to join me for the presentation of the candidates. Deputy Director Scialabba, each of these 75 candidates have been personally examined under oath by a designated officer. Each has demonstrated an understanding of the English language, unless examined, and knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of history and principles and form of government of the United States. Each has been found to be a person of good moral character, attached to the principles of the Constitution, and well-disposed for good order and happiness of the United States. The investigations of the government have been completed in each of their cases, and each has been found to meet all the requirements of the law to be naturalized. Deputy Director Scialabba, the candidates are now ready to be administered the oath of allegiance, thereby admitting them to United States citizenship.
Thank you, Phyllis. Vice Councilmember has joined us. I also need to thank, there he is. And thank you so much, Councilmember Regina. And also Director Campbell and the Metropolitan Museum of Art for hosting what is a very special day for all of you. It's my great privilege to be here at one of our nation's premier museums with our candidates for citizenship and their proud families and friends. What a wonderful venue. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I have to say, before I administer the oath. That was one of the most amazing renditions of the Star Spangled Banner I have ever heard. It brought chills to my